Henk, welcome to Coffee with Grant and KZN Top Business.
Awesome, thanks. Nice to be here back.
So just to recap a little bit, Blue Security, what makes Blue Security different or unique compared to other security firms out in KZN?
Grant, I always think that it always starts with the main team. If I always evaluate the guys and always talk to the guys, their blood is bluer. And that's where it starts. And I think if you get that winning formula right, then it filters down to the rest of the team easy in that. And I think we're always unique because our focus is always drive on the customer side, drive for service. And on the end of the day, in our business, we're here to fight crime. And it's not an easy job. Criminals get innovation also, like we get innovation. And the end of the day is to make a difference. And it's just to protect our clients and really dig into the community, because our ultimate driver is community. If you get that right, then we're in a good space. And I think that's sort of where it unpacks us a bit different from the other guys there.
So you work very, very closely with the SAP community, forums and all that, so that impacts on how you do business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at over the years, 8-10 years back in this business, you were sort of the main key pin around fighting the crime. It all turned around you. And I think we've learned over the years that as an individual, as a business, you just cannot do it by yourself anymore. We are very proactive, and you normally get there when something's already happened. The alarm goes off or the panic goes off. And you get into a space where the clients are sort of saying, but hold on, how do we get that pre-active? How do we get there before incident happen? And the communities over the years have built such a close relationship using communication like WhatsApp, technology, cameras, and they really digged into it because they've realized that they need to make the area safe too. SAP is always a challenge, but also the guys are doing some good work to fight crime. And I think that everybody just realize that it's just too big. And if we don't stand together and we don't work it together, we'll never get it right. And I think we're in a space where now, as we've got good relationships with the communities, neighborhood watches has a massive, massive impact in our industry. Massive in that. And they grow every day. And you get involved with them and you sort of join forces with them. You must be in that space. If you're not in that space, you'll never get it right.
And then we come to that all-important thing with COVID happening as it is. What kind of an impact has that had on your business?
Yeah, I think COVID-19 is an ugly word. In the beginning, it was sort of this fear that it created in the world, and it sort of flowed into business. And I don't think anybody was ever ready for it. I remember the first day when we heard the lockdown regulations. Our guys were saying to me, "Oh, but you're an essential service. You're sort of fine. You can carry on." Well, we were not fine. We had to change strategy. One of our big business aspects is our control room, and we feed quite a few million signals in there, and that's the core of the business. Now imagine that's one room with about 30 people in there per shift, and 2 of those guys get sick. You have to lock down that whole unit. So what we were forced to do is to take that control room and break it up into 10 different pockets through the whole building. So when you now use your building, you have to take everybody in the building out of the building so that your control room becomes the building. And by doing that, you have to now get everybody working from home. So your data, your processing, your technical, everybody had to work off-site now. And that was a challenge on its own. I don't think I'm the only one that had that experience, but you suddenly had to think of your feet. So our first 2 months, I take my hat off for the team. That was cracker all the time. On the end of the day, it was, how do we work around the crime? How do we service our clients? How do we make the area safe? Because as everything locks down, the criminals don't lock down. I don't think they understand the word lockdown. And business was carrying on. We had interesting times. It was a challenge. I think we all learned something new in our lives. And I think there's generations there that would never expect something like this. So, good value lesson, still not over. We're still a long way to get around certain stuff, but it's easier now. I think we're sort of on top of our game around how to go forward.
I think it's quite credible. how you actually handled that and still maintained your security forces and things just carried on running as people would think normally, but without realizing the actual intensity of actually explaining what was happening behind the scenes. So Blue Security now, using innovation and everything going forward, what is the future of Blue?
I think something we all learned out of the lockdown period, and even now, is that there's a lot of different things you can do. And I said to the guy the other day, I think a key valuable thing that I learned out of this, there was always these things we always wanted to try. But you know, you're nervous, you sort of saying, you're on the fence. And now the opportunity was there to say, listen, let's throw these things in a pot. Let's see what I do. Some of them work, some of them don't work. It was all about how do you get the service better, how do you get to fight crime better, how do you get better into communities and that. And a lot of innovation came with that. There's a lot of new technologies we've discovered. I'm talking about small software programs. Working from home, we've learned a few things from certain departments that can do that. So yes, you had this whole pool of information and pool of innovation and technology that you've been floating with the business, because our business, the guy on the ground, the reaction guy on the controller, is not the only guy that can win this battle. You need technology, you need innovation, you need cameras. There's a lot of stuff that you put out into the field to fight this crime. And I think that's what made the difference, was that we had opportunity, we used them, some of them were very successful. We got a couple now in the pipeline we're testing. It was there was a good in it also around innovation and technology.
I love that the positive feel that you bring to the table. So I think everybody who are your clients are in safe, good hands under Blue. It's always incredible to talk to you, because although it's a negative environment we're in, you're the most positive person I know in it. It's a bit of irony in that.
Yeah, it is. I hate it when guys always say, but you've got a lot of crime, you always have business. And that's not what it's about. It's about how do you get that down. We did some good inroads, through our ambassador program. We got a tactical team running now. So we made some good arrests, we did some good busts through this period. And we had actually opportunity to focus on a little bit of different other stuff.
I think that's brilliant. I never forget when you got your trophy for the brand of the year last year. As you were saying your thank you, the tear that came to your eye and that emotion that it's all about the people you're looking after, your staff, your clients and everything like that. So I think that ethos that you have within carries through in Blue.
Yeah.
So
those rewards, it's always really nice to have everybody in the business there to collect it. It's like a sports team. You all get it together at one shot. And I always I take that. It always brings a tear. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of passion, because passion is what makes a difference. And we're here to do something different in the world. It's not just about ourselves. It's for something better.
I love that, Henk. Henk, thank you very much for joining me on Coffee with Grant in KZN Top Business.
Thank you very much.